Hello, my name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and tonight we're speaking with Justine Dukelock. Am I pronouncing your name right, Justine?
Almost. It's pronounced DeClue.
DeClue, okay. And you're one of the backup singers for Mick Adams and the Stones, which is, of course, Rolling Stones tribute band. So I guess the best place to start this interview off is how did you first get involved with Mick Adams and the Stones?
Well, I initially joined the Rolling Stones band 6 years ago when it was originally Vince Lupo, the drummer, and then Mick Adams was in that band as well. And I had played in a top 40 band with Vince before, and so I knew him for years prior to that. And he recruited me to join this band, and then the rest is, history.
And now I was curious, were you always much of a Rolling Stones fan, or did you kind of get more into their music after joining this band?
I actually got more into the music after joining the band. I grew up listening to David Bowie and the Rolling Stones because my dad was a fan.
Okay.
So I was surrounded by their music a little bit, but I never was a true diehard Rolling Stones fan until getting involved in this band.
And now, I was curious. Obviously you're a singer in your own right, but have you ever done any lead singing, or have you always been a backup singer?
Sorry, no. I have done lead singing before as well. Usually, I started in San Diego doing top 40 bands, playing corporate events and weddings. Doing lead singing work. So actually joining Mick Adams and the Stones and doing the Stones tribute scene has been my first backup singing role.
And the great thing about being a backup singer, especially in a project like this, is if anybody's ever actually seen or heard the actual Rolling Stones, those backup singers, there's a huge background, vocal to all those classic songs. So. What I want to ask you too is, when you first started getting involved with this band and doing the tribute thing, were you surprised at to see the numbers of people coming out to the shows?
Oh, absolutely. It's a great way to reach out to new audiences and people, because being in the tribute scene, there are so many crazy fans of the original music that they want to be able to get up close to this type of music and these artists without actually having to pay huge sums of money to see the real deal. They can get up close and personal and kind of see a recreation of their favorite bands. So it's a great way to reach out that way. We played in front of tons and tons of people, especially at venues like in Las Vegas on Fremont Street. So it's definitely I've enjoyed it a lot immensely. Also because as being a backup singer with the Stones, like you said, being able to do the backup singing but sing on songs like Give Me Shelter, I get the best of both worlds, being able to step out for a few songs and showcase my vocals, but also still contribute to the band and contribute to the backups as well.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think a cool thing about what you do would be also the simple fact is you take Mick Adams, what he does, he's got to front the band, he's got to sound just like Mick Jagger and look like him, where you don't have that added pressure. You just have to learn you learn your parts, and you don't necessarily have to worry about necessarily how you look, except for having cool looking stage outfits and that. But is that something you enjoy, that you just get to kind of learn these parts and you don't have to worry so much about how you look like the rest of the band?
In that sense, yeah, I don't play an essential in terms of an actual character.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about looking exactly like a replica of somebody. But I think everyone in the band does have a role to play. So there's always the pressure of learning all of the material, making sure it sounds exactly like the record, and that's what where the rehearsals come into play to work all that out. But yeah, Mick is in a class all of his own, for sure. I've learned a lot just by knowing him and singing with him on stage for 6 years. And Seeing how much energy he puts out there, and he's on all the time, and he never drops energy, and never misses a note, never misses anything. So it's definitely like being in a master class of learning, from someone that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and for anybody that's never heard of Mick Adams and the Stones or seen you guys, I urge them to even go check out the Facebook page for the band, because everybody in the band, like I said, Mick especially, he really looks part of Mick Jagger, and all the other guys look who like they're trying to emulate, and Mick's got it down to the every last detail. Like he was telling me, we're trying to imitate the Rolling Stones as close as possible. He told me, we're one of the few Rolling Stone bands that actually got a guy emulating Daryl Jones. We got the backup singers, we got the sax players, the keyboard player, and he's really into every last detail. And I think that shows you, how much he's into, as well as the rest of the band, putting on just the ultimate show.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone, especially the core members, the Mick, the Keith, the Ronnie, and then the Charlie have to, they really put a lot of effort into the look, costuming, getting the makeup right to make, the shadows of the face look exactly like the roles that they are playing. So it is, in part, it's a music job, but it is also an acting job together. Yeah,
and so, I was curious, you guys really recently had addition of a couple new members. I know Larry Hampton, one of the guitar players who does Keith Richards. He's also in a huge tribute band as well. And I got to tell people who've never seen Larry play or to go on his website, just check out the pictures, because whether he's doing the Who or Rolling Stones, he really he looks like Pete Townsend. He sounds like Pete Townsend. He looks like Keith Richards. He sounds apart. And the thing about that is, Pete Townsend and Keith Richards they're totally different style of guitar playing. This guy can do it all, and I think that just says something about the level of talent in this band.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he just recently joined, and he's incredible the way that he can just shift between different characters that he's trying to portray, and everyone in the band too. I mean, the level of musicianship and professionalism that everybody has is unlike any other type of a band that I've been in before. Everyone works on their material, and everyone shows up ready to work and knowing their parts, and it's just effortless.
And now let me ask you, Justine, as far as there's you and another backup singer, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
How many backup singers are in the band? There's a couple others besides just you, right?
No, just myself at the moment, yeah.
Oh, okay. And so how hard is that, you being responsible for the whole, you being like the main backup singer? I mean, I guess all the other guys in the bands, they contribute as well?
I'm the only female backup singer. And then the piano, the keyboardist, Ethan, he, throws in some backups, and then periodically on a few songs, Vince, who plays Charlie, will also insert some vocals, but I mean, in terms of the majority of the backups, yeah, I do a good chunk.
And what,
a good chunk of all the backups.
Yeah. And what do you enjoy the most about being part of this band?
Well, being a part of this band is, to me, it's more like family. I've been, especially with Mick and Vince, I've been with them and knowing them doing this project for 6 years. Although it's kind of changed between different other members and then different band names, but we've been together for 6 years, so it's definitely a priority in my life in terms of where I want my music and career to go. It's something that I have invested so much time in, and with it for the long haul, and looking forward to bigger and better opportunities. And it is like a second family, like I said, where we've known each other for so long, and I've known other members as well. Cecil and Ethan in the band I've known for years prior to the Stones band, as well as we've played the wedding and corporate band circuit too, so I've known them for a long time.
Oh, cool. And so do you ever go and check out each other, like like I said, for example, Larry has, he also is in a Who tribute. Do you guys ever go and check out when you're playing with other bands and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. And when we're not gigging with other bands
Yeah.
as well. And the other thing too is that we're all dispersed in different areas of Southern California, so it's not like we can just run down the block and go see someone. So we have to make an effort to go up to LA to go see someone. But yeah, absolutely, we go out and try to support each other in other events that we're doing, if it is public. If it's a private event and a corporate, we can't obviously be there, but yeah, we definitely support each other.
And let me ask you now, as far like in your case, you said you've been with the band for 6 years now. How often do you guys have to still rehearse? I mean, or have you been playing together long enough that you feel that you've got these tunes down, or do you still have to rehearse from time to time?
Yeah, when we do insert a few new songs here and there over time, I definitely have to learn, and you have to keep up with the chops, especially just to make sure that you're on point with the material to make it sound as authentic as possible. But yeah, since I've been doing it for 6 years, sometimes it is like second nature to me. It's just I don't even have to think about it anymore. I just know it like the back of my hand.
And let me ask you, were you with the band when they appeared on the World's Greatest Tribute Band TV show?
Yes, yeah.
And how much fun was that for you?
Oh, that was killer. That was awesome. That was something that I'd never experienced before with a band. To have that kind of exposure, and then it's also turned into a community, a tribute community. So everyone in other tribute bands have in turn, supported each other, and they show up for each other. So it's been great, and being able to be a part of that has led to the Access TV, the Greatest Tribute Band recordings, as well, available on iTunes. So that we got to go into the studio and record in LA. So that was really cool too. So you were able to get even more exposure through that. Yeah,
and you made the great point, Justine, about how this tribute scene is a lot of the bands are really kind of like there's a kinship or a fraternity, if you will. And what I really enjoy about that is like seeing the bands work together, and everybody's friends. And whereas opposed if you were like an original band doing your own original thing, a lot of times bands are competing against each other. But I've seen many cases where bands are booking their own shows, and hey, we need an opening band. You guys want to open our show next week? And I just really think that's really cool that bands support each other that way.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but with this tribute community as well, a lot of the shows that we do with Mick Adams and the Stones, we'll bring up the lead singer from the U2 tribute band.
Yeah.
Or the Elton John tribute from Elton John, Alice Cooper from the Alice Cooper band. So I mean, it's that kind of back and forth exchange of you'll come in and do a cameo, and we'll do a duet on stage at my gig, and then vice versa on your gig. So it's being able to not only come to each other's shows and support each other, but also everyone is in it together to help support each other, but to give exposure to each other's bands as well. So there's no ill will towards anybody. It's all, it is like a family, a tribute family.
And the cool thing about being in a Rolling Stones tribute, especially, is it allows you the opportunity to do shows with lots of different types of bands. I mean, like you're saying, you guys could do shows with a David Bowie or a Queen tribute, or even U2. And I think that's that's really great. And a lot of people. The reason I'm doing interviews with people like you that play in the tribute bands is a lot of people out there. I don't know if you know, Justine, have a misconception about tribute bands. A lot of people believe stuff like, oh, if you play in a tribute band, you're a failed musician, you can't make it doing your own thing. But that's not really the case. I mean, I've seen personally myself going to a lot of these tribute shows, all the hard work that goes into like what you guys do. Have you seen people? I mean, like again, when you first started doing this, are you surprised at the success you could have doing this? If you get the right people together and get a tight enough band.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it is about chemistry, and sometimes it doesn't work out with everybody. But when you find that niche and then that group of people that is just electric on stage, and you just vibe, it makes the experience that much better. And beginning, like 6 years ago, in the tribute scene. I had never been in a tribute band before, so I didn't expect this kind of, community, this kind of level of playing and musicianship, as well as exposure and being able to travel and play. We've played in Michigan before. I mean, in Vegas numerous times, so being able to do that kind of traveling as well was such a surprise for me, and it makes it that much more exciting and fulfilling to be part of this kind of band.
Yeah, and now talk a little bit about. I was curious about when you guys come up with a set list. Do you typically do the same set of songs each show, or does it kind of depend from show to show? Like, for example, how long you're going to play and all that.
Sure. Usually we do a concert set the majority of the time, which is like a 90-minute set, but it's the songs pretty much stay the same. We will insert new songs here and there, or change up the order a little bit, but with the tribute bands and then the audience and the fans, it's sticking to the formula of playing their most well-known greatest hits that everyone really recognizes. So we usually stick to that. And it doesn't matter how many times people have seen us. We have people that have followed us to other venues, and they just love the music so much and love the experience of it, that they can listen to these songs over and over and over again, and it never gets old.
Yeah, and again, again, you made the point that earlier that there's some people that can't afford a $500 ticket to go see the real Rolling Stones. So a band like Mick Adams and the Stones, you guys are the next best thing. It's a little more affordable, and you can still kind of enjoy hearing these songs you grew up on. And that's another thing. You guys got a built-in audience. When people come to see Mick Adams and the Stones, they kind of have an idea what they're going to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have an idea exactly what they're going to get if someone's never seen us before. They leave surprised that it is at the level that it is. We are one of the few Rolling Stones tribute bands that actually has a full 8-member band with the female backup singers, and then the percussion and the saxophone and the piano and everything. So to have that kind of full concert experience as if you were seeing the Stones as they are now on stage for that kind of a price and up close and personal is, what's better than being able to do that? I can't afford to go. I even can't afford to go see the Stones in person either. So I totally get it and understand.
And another cool thing about what you guys do is, in a couple more years, the real Rolling Stones are getting to the point where they're getting too old to maybe tour, and so once they're ready to retire and hang up their guitar strap, so to speak, you guys will be still playing this music for people that so many people around the world love.
Definitely, and I see that with other tribute bands as well, where the artists like Elvis acts or Jimi Hendrix acts. They for those artists that have already passed, and then it is a way for the audience and fans to be able to see these people as they're no longer here. So I honestly think that Mick Jagger's never going to retire. He's going to play till forever.
Yeah.
He's dead in the grave, but yeah, I think it's a great experience, and it's in my mind it's similar to theater in a sense. You're paying to go see a production, and the lights and media and the costuming and the acting in and of itself. So I think it's a full experience. Yeah,
I like to call it rock and roll theater, and best example, I tell people this story all the time, but actually one of the first tribute bands I ever seen was this Guns N' Roses tribute out of Hollywood called Hollywood Rose, and the singer.
Awesome.
And the singer in the band, especially the singer, he looked dead on like Axl Rose from 1987 all over again. And I had to pinch myself. First time I saw this band, I was like, I almost thought I almost could swear to God I've seen the real Guns N' Roses. They were that good, and they really looked the part. And that's what you guys can do for your audience. Give somebody a magical concert experience like that. Especially with a band like Mick Adams and Stones. If you're that good, you must get people coming up to you guys after your shows and, oh man, you're as good as a real Rolling Stones. You guys took me back to, you're playing the songs from my youth. You must get stuff like that all the time.
Almost every time. That's the really cool thing about what what we do is that, especially we hear a lot of times from people that are, even that are in the far back of the room, or even with your eyes closed. I mean, you can still, it sounds exactly, or sometimes even better than musicianship than what the real Stones do. And, people are looking at the stage and seeing, what's going on, and they think that they're looking at the real Rolling Stones because it's that close to pretty much the original band. So that's the really cool thing about what we do.
And let me ask you, Justine, because again, being that you're the backup singer, you don't have as much maybe added pressure as other guys where you have to try to look the part in that. But you are responsible for being the backup singer, that background sound, which is very crucial to a lot of these songs. But so I like, for an example, when you first joined the band, I was curious. How surprised were you? I mean, you must have people coming up to you after a show. Oh man, you were really great. You put on I love the way you sing the backgrounds. Are you ever surprised that even though like you're not like a Mick Jagger, of a Keith Richards band, that you have just as many people come up to you after the shows and commenting on your performance?
Sure. I mean, it's definitely nice to hear those types of compliments, that what you're doing and what you love, you love what you're doing, and you love the experience and being able to share that with the fans. That to get that kind of to get that compliment back from someone makes the whole thing worthwhile. At least for me, it's you put a lot of time into rehearsal, into costuming and makeup, and 6 years of putting the effort into it. That it is really nice to get that kind of a feedback that wow, you're doing a killer job, and you guys rocked it out, and we thought we were at a real Stones concert, and to get continuous fans who follow us around is like the best part.
Yeah, and again, I got to say, like we've been making the point, this is rock and roll theater, and I mean, anybody that has ever seen Mick Adams and the Stones, or even looked at the pictures on Facebook page, this is not a band that is just four or five guys, getting up on their jeans and t-shirt, and strumming guitars. I mean, this is a band that goes the extra mile, to have a keyboard player, backup singer, saxophone player. They've got all the details down, and they've actually taken the time to really look the part, sound the part, play the songs like they're supposed to be played. And again, I make that point because me, myself, when I go to a show, I don't want to just see guys, in jeans and a t-shirt. I want to be entertained. I kind of say like what you guys do, kind of like a Kiss show, a Las Vegas show. I want the spectacle. I want the fireworks and the whole 9 yards, and that's what you guys provide for your audience.
Definitely, I think we take it one step further over the edge of we have a new media show with videos that correlate with the songs that we're doing. So I think that adds an extra advantage and an extra I don't know how to put it, but like an extra oomph to the show, and it just creates such an awesome environment, and everyone does do their part. Like I said before, everyone they put the time to put in on the makeup. I mean, the wigs, everything. I mean, the intonation of the guitar, and the way that they the way that like Larry or Ronnie walks with a guitar and plays at the same time while making certain facial expressions, and then Mick, of course, is like the main focal point of the show. So he has been doing it for years as well. Far past 6 years, but a lot longer than that. And he still studies Mick Jagger. He still takes the time and to improve always on his craft, and learning the moves, the dances, and the costuming. And if he has an updated wardrobe, what else is he wearing that he could have made or buy to make it that much realistic. So it definitely takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, but in the end it is definitely worth it.
Yeah, and he even told me stories about him and his wife will be out having dinner somewhere, and people actually come up and are staring at him because they think he looks so much like the real Mick Jagger, and he has to tell them, no, I'm not him. But again, that's just as a compliment to his dedication and everything that he does to put on that ultimate show for his fans. And I want to talk a little bit about, you were saying that you guys have actually, in conjunction with the World's Greatest Tribute, you've gone in the studio and you guys have recorded some of the Rolling Stones songs, and I know that at some of your shows you sell the CDs of that, and some of them have actually charted. And from what I understand, the reason they're having you guys record these songs is they're trying to place them in movie soundtracks and TV shows and stuff, because it's a lot easier than paying the actual Rolling Stones to feature their music in movies and TV. So do you guys actually go in the studio together when you record these songs, or how does that work?
Yeah, well, when we did record the songs together and that was for the Access, the World's Greatest Tribute. So we all weren't in the studio at the exact same time.
Yeah.
We, there was a specific day where we just did vocals, and then there was another day where they did some of the instrumentation, or they did it. I think Ronnie did it at his home and sent it in. So whatever was convenient for the group is what was decided upon. But it was such a great experience to be able to, we drove up to LA, went into one of the studios, worked with a great producer, and were able to track 3 different songs, and they all charted, and then the one song of "Give Me Shelter" has maintained a spot on the chart, and I believe it was 3 consecutive weeks it was at number 1, and then it's still on the charts. I think today it's at number 12, but that song has consistently stayed since it debuted on the charts, which is awesome. That's such a great feat for everybody, including myself, and such a great achievement. So it's just hopefully going up.
Yeah, again, I mean, even for, like you say, even for a tribute act, that's kind of a pinnacle for something like this, or the Access TV show, and you guys have kind of reached that pinnacle. And I was curious, as far as the songs you recorded, was the band allowed to pick which songs you wanted to record, or did Access TV people kind of like tell you, oh, well, we'd like you guys to record, "Give Me Shelter"? How did that work out?
For those, I'm actually not sure in terms of the song selection that was chosen. I believe that it was our choice of which "Give Me Shelter" obviously is a given for anything. That's everybody's. Yeah. That's one of the most well-known Stone songs. So that was definitely a given. But as far as the other 2, that was the other one was "Brown Sugar." So I believe that the others were just chosen. I believe it was Vince and Mick. That executive decision. But yeah, it was the songs that everybody knows.
And let me ask you, Justine, while you're very busy with Mick Adams and the Stones, do you have any other projects you're currently involved in that you'd like to talk a little bit about?
Well, aside from doing, I live in San Diego, I work in different top 40 tribute acts, and then I also do some songwriting on the side as well. So just, working on multiple things at the same time, doing some acting, getting into some commercial work, aside from singing. But yeah, just doing a bunch of different projects right now at the same time, trying to be able to do what I love, which is being in the entertainment business. So.
And it would be safe to say that also being in Mick Adams and the Stones, that kind of allows you to the opportunity to do these other things, because you've got a constant gig, and it kind of allows you to pay the bills and do whatever else you want to do in between.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. It's being part of the band is. Allows me the opportunity, also with the exposure of the band, to be able to network and meet with other musicians as well, and being able to sit in with other bands or other tribute bands, and then it also gives other exposure to other songwriters. I've had other songwriters email me or message me, or producers wanting to work on a few songs, see where that goes. So there's just things through the exposure of the band that new opportunities have come out of, which is great.
And let me ask you, again, being the backup singer, I was curious, like you made the point earlier, you guys are real tight band as far as getting along. There's a great chemistry, and especially between you, Mick, and Vince, who've been together now 6 years. I was curious, like when the band's rehearsing or practicing for a show or anything, or trying to make business decisions. Do they ever do they take suggestions from you just as equally as the other band members?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, everyone gets an input through through open communication. Definitely, which in a band of this size is definitely a must. I think in any band, communication is key. Yeah. So being able to have an open door policy, and everyone can has an equal voice and can speak their opinion and have a say, and a suggestion on songs, costuming, venues, anything. So that's, I think that's the best part about this band, is that there is no negative energy, and everyone is on the same page, and the communication is there. So it's that's the most important part.
Okay, and the last thing I want to ask you is, like you said a couple times over the years, you guys have had some members come and go, and I was curious, when it comes time to looking for a new member, do you guys usually you just ask around like some other ask other musicians? Do you hold auditions? How do you go typically about finding new members?
Most of the time it's just through the musician and tribute community.
Okay.
Everyone in this band knows somebody and knows a bunch of other musicians as well. So it is pretty much through word of mouth. It's about who you know, and someone knows another great guitarist, or if one of us has been to another tribute show or another band performance and seen a killer guitarist or a killer bass player or another musician, and say, and just approach them in that aspect, or have their information handy and be able to do it that way. So it's mainly through word of mouth and networking.
And I'd imagine, when you're looking for new members too, besides just being a great talent on your instrument or whatever, it all comes down to how well that person gels with the rest of the band, musically and personality wise.
Personality definitely matters. I think I know the musicianship skills and the level of professionalism is definitely important and is a key component. But one of the most important aspects is, yes, the personality and the person's ability to gel with everybody else and to be on the same page as everybody else. So as long as all of those components are in play, then it definitely works.
Okay, well, Justine, it's been a real pleasure talking. I've really enjoyed doing this, and like I said, give me a couple hours and I'll send you over an MP3 file of this interview. The interview itself's come out really great, and please keep in touch. Anytime you have any other projects you need help promoting, let me know, and I'd more than glad to talk to you.
Definitely, yeah, sure.
And anybody hasn't had a chance, I urge anybody to go check out Mick Adams and the Stones when they come to your area. You will not be disappointed. Thanks again, Justine. I can't thank you enough for taking time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, no problem. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.